My Philadelphia Eagles, put your hands up. Your Philadelphia Eagles, put your hands up. Our Philadelphia Eagles, put your hands up. Our Philadelphia Eagles, put your hands up. Our Philadelphia Eagles, put your hands up.
First of all, I'd like to thank all of you for coming out today and expressing your interest in this organization. This is a important moment in our team organization and in our team, duties that we need to do. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Mr. McBeal, Frank McBeal, and I'm the president of the Wantage Eagles. In this new fantasy season, we're very excited to be starting off with a great coach. He was available, and we were invited by none other than PJ Prodigy into this fantasy league. And first of all, I'd like to thank him for inviting our team into this league. We're excited to be getting a new season today, and getting ready to gear up for the draft. Obviously, a part of doing the draft and getting the right personnel is finding the right head coach for our team. I believe that we have found that coach. And without further ado, I will not take any more time at the podium. I'd like to introduce right in the back over there and have him come forward to the podium. Ladies and gentlemen, the man that is going to lead us to a division championship and hopefully a lot more. He's right in the back, right there. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Martin Saquon. Mr. Saquon, you can now come forward. Let me just get out of the way here. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. First of all, I'd like to make a statement and say how truly honored I am to be here today, and be able to address your questions and just be able to being the head coach of the Wantage Eagles. Something that Mr. McBeal did not announce was that I am also the vice president and in charge of all operations, general manager of the Wantage Eagles for this fantasy team league this year. Been the fantasy manager before of other leagues. I have managed several other leagues before and done several other things. But so that's why I think I'm qualified for this job. I've been one step to the championship in other leagues, and we've had rocky seasons other years. But I've also put together a very competitive and a roster that you wouldn't expect of guys that have been able to field very well. So I'm hoping that we're going to do the same thing in this division. I will take your questions right now. The direction that we intend to take the draft this year is, we intend not to just go, here a little bit, here a little bit there. We have some ideas of what we're going to do, and we have some directions that we want to take and different moves that we want to make. So we definitely have a solid approach that we want to have this year. Last year, from what I've heard, this team has been all over the draft a little bit, and hasn't really stuck with a solid position, but we have a solid idea of where we want to go this year. You right over there. That's a good question. Who do we want to draft in the first round? Last year, I told you, when I stood up here at the podium for another team, I said I wasn't going to talk about who we were going to draft for the first round, and this year is going to be the same thing. I'm not going to talk about who we're going to draft for the first round because, when it comes down to it, CJ or whatever might have some ideas. I know MVP might have some ideas. I know Chewbacca might have some ideas. There's a lot of other teams that are going to be building in this league, so we don't want to give away who we are thinking about as our number one draft pick, but we definitely have a certain guy in mind for that right now. Yes, Jim, go ahead. Well, I think that when you're talking about, victory and keys to victory, I think once again, my philosophy has always been that we need to have a solid approach. Whether it's we get two solid quarterbacks that we know week in and week out are going to get the job done, whether we get two solid running backs that we know week in and out, they're going to get the job done. It's got to be a solid thing. We can't expect to be, hoping that we're going to pull points here and, hoping that we're going to pull points there. We want to have a nice, clean sweep and pretty much know that we're going to win the game that week. So that's our solid approach right there. Yes, Carol. Those are right here. Carol, go ahead. Well, I think it's too early to tell. I know that CJ has been CJ and MVP, and I know a lot of other people in the division. MVP is in his own division, but I know that I'm pretty sure that we're in the same division as CJ. I know that there are other people that are competitive in the division. I know that there's going to be more teams that are hopefully going to be joining our division. So, I think it's too early to say whether, anyone's a threat in our division. I think it's a little bit too early to say. And once again, this is the first year that I've been in this league. So, I don't know what CJ's capable of. I don't know what, other people in our division are capable of. But I'm sure that it's going to be a competitive division. So, yes, Ken, right in the back, right over there.
What is y'all thinking? You better run faster than that, or you look at the back of Tom Pinkston.
Ken, in my last team, we were buyers towards the fantasy trade deadline when we were able to make trades. We did a lot of trades last year, and we bought a lot of people. We were not sellers. We put the people that we didn't feel were producing enough, and we put them on the trade deadline, and we felt the people that were producing enough, and we made a lot of trades. This year, I'm hoping that we don't have to go down that line. As a coach, manager, and general manager, you never want to say to somebody that, hey, you're not producing for my team, so we're going to have to trade you. But you have a better opportunity on other teams, to produce. So you never want to. You want to stick with a solid roster. Obviously, in fantasy football, things change week in and week out. And, sometimes 3 weeks of the same quarterback might not benefit you another 3 weeks. You just hope to make fair trades and, make trades that are going to help you and help somebody else who is not in your division reach the playoffs. So I think that's how the season's got to go along. But we definitely don't want to try to be, have to be buyers this year. We want to try to have a nice even roster and make the trades when we need to.